I'm still working on this word of wisdom, still trying to put a word of wisdom together, and I'm just still seeking how to understand wisdom. And I've come to find that God is wisdom as much as God is love, and it's something that you can't take away from God because it's something that's a part of Him. If you take a piece of cheese and you cut it in half, it's still cheese. This is something that God is good, and I think it's really hard to understand that God is good, God is wisdom, God is love, but trying to just focus on the word wisdom itself and the realization that God is wisdom itself, and that God is our Father, and just in itself. And it is a lot to take in, but I believe that I've been able just to process this and to break it down. So here we go. So I was listening to a pastor, and he was talking about, his dad, making sure that all the doors were locked, and then he would tell everybody, okay, everybody, it's safe to go to bed. And that had brought that pastor just comfort, that he has a caring dad, loving dad, careful dad. His dad's watching over him, and, he didn't have anxiety before he went to bed. He was able to go to sleep. Now, taking that just to your life, in real life, I know my husband, that's one thing that he does before we go to bed is, he goes and locks the door. It's one thing that, he just does. And so just thinking about that, what is he really saying? What was that pastor's dad really saying? That, you know what, I'm boss, I'm here, you are safe, you can go to sleep, you can rest, I'm on watch, I've done what I was supposed to do. And I think that there's just so many of us, me included, who just had a bad father, and never had these father experiences. So there was no way that I can fathom safety or just being cared for, being provided for. Just grew up as basically, I was a diamond in the rough, type situation. And so to think about these things as a father and to trust a father, it's not anything hateful or bitter. It's just non-existent. Don't even have the thoughts. And I'm going to just say that's a lot of us out there who just didn't have that peaceful example of a father and care and love. And to know wisdom is to know your father. It's to know that you're loved, you're cared for, you're protected. And that's to have wisdom. It's something that we don't have to do on our own. There is nothing I can do to make sure everything's going to go a whole lot better. I mean, I can't tell my cells where to go in my body. I can't stop my, blood pressure or, sugar diabetes by myself, At some point in time, it's my goal with, food and diet and things like that. It's a goal. But, He is the maker. He is the Alpha and Omega. He is the creator. He is our Father. And to know that is to have wisdom. To let that sink in is to have wisdom. And it's also to have rest. How many times did we do something at a time that we were not in rest? And we made a bigger mess because of our impatience, because of our unbelief, because of our ignorance, because of our jumping the gun, because of our doubt that we didn't even have faith at that moment or those times. And it could have saved us years of heartache. It could have saved, 5 or 6 other relationships that we could have had. It could have had more times of intimacy and trusting other people in our life where we could have really wanted to. We just didn't have a ground to stand on. There was not another step next for us to take. It was just so non-existent. So I believe I'm still, trying to put this word together. But to know God, to know wisdom, is to accept God, that He is our Father, and that He protects us, that He looks over us, that He cares for us. And His Word tells us that. In His Word it says that He knows down when we rise down, when we get up. He knows the numbers of the hair on our head. Who would want to take that time to know that number? My God, my Father who loves me. I can just really, really be very intimate with that one, because I'm one that if my daughter is sitting next to me, I'm playing with her hair, or if the baby's taking a nap, I'm brushing my hand on their face, or I'm playing with their hair. So those things are really close to me examples. And to think that my Father knows the exact number, that He cares so much. And I think that to know wisdom is to know God and what a good Father is. How much more rest can we have knowing what He knows about us, and knowing that He wants to, and knowing that He's grateful and He's graceful, and that He doesn't even get on us like He should, honestly. Is a lot of part of His grace. And it's not that we get away with everything, because we don't. But He knows the right time where it's not going to kill us, where it's actually going to help us, it's going to mature us. So to know wisdom is to know a good Father, one who is protecting and loving, helpful, hopeful, one who's ministering, one who's counseling, one who's caring. And I think the wisdom is to realize that. The wisdom is to know that. The wisdom is to meditate on that and to really trust it. It's not one of those, we're going to just have positive vibes about that. No, I haven't met one positive person with all these vibes. I'm going to tell you what, when they really hold up onto all that stuff, I just don't get it. But really, really practice this. Practice what you preach in this, and practice this. It's not, something that you're gonna get, right away, unless you're a microwave Christian and you just took off, with it. Like some in the Bible, the lady at the well, she just went off with it right when she found out Jesus. She went to go tell everybody. There are some times, and the things like that do happen. But I figure, like, for the most of us, it's really not. So take time to study wisdom. Take time to get to know your Father and His traits, and what wisdom is, and what love is, and conquer your questions, conquer your thoughts, because honestly, the number one battle is you don't believe in love. It's really so simple. We don't have to get into demonic or generational curses. We don't have to get into anything except your thoughts. Because honestly, if we want to pass down things for the better generation, it's going to be thoughts, is what it's going to be. It's going to be decisions that have left our family in a better place and space. And when they go through their troubles, they're going to say, Auntie did this, Uncle did that, Mom did this, Dad did that, Grandma did this, Grandpa did that, Pastor did this, or we heard that. Thoughts. If we want a better and better generation full of wisdom, full of love, it starts with us. It starts with us gathering as many thoughts and examples and testimonies that our family's going to keep, that's our family's going to keep, our friends are going to keep, our church is going to keep, our prayer groups are going to keep, and it's going to spread, and it's going to help heal. So to know wisdom is to know God, and you can't separate them. And to know love is also to know wisdom, because of the ones who love you, they'll always, even though you don't want to hear it, nobody ever wants to hear it, believe me, me included. Nobody ever wants to hear it. But when they get a chance to tell you something, they'll tell you something you don't want to hear. And you know, it's something you should do, something you should change, something you haven't checked on, something you should have checked on. And it's hard to hear because it's something else you have to do. But just know that it comes from love, and that love is wisdom. And wisdom is actually coming from people who regretted that they didn't make the choice sooner. So I hope this helped you. If you gain any wisdom or you have wisdom to share, please leave it in the comments and subscribe. Thank you.